Children, this is another important topic in our lesson, that is Great Depression. So, Great Depression means the fall in demand of the commodities and fall in prices of the commodities may lead to economic downfall of the countries. So, that is one situation happened in the world countries in the 1939 and 1945 years, this decade. Here, the Great Depression began around the end of 1929 and almost till 1939. It happened in the countries when the Second World War began. Second World War began in 1939 and lasted up to 1945. So this 39 to 45, this is a decade. There was a worldwide economic decline triggered by a decline in demand and fall in prices. So when this World War is happening, end of the First World War, here the Great Depression is happening because of all the commodities which were produced in the country carried away to the war front. So the demand for the civilians, the commodities, they not get any demand, they not get any commodities, and the prices also will be very less. So here the economic depression is happened. So main reason for economic depression is fall in demand and fall in prices. So decline in demand led to decline, closure of factory production, which in turn meant further decline in the purchasing power of people. So when the demand is decreased, the factories closed down and there is no production, and leading this situation leading to further decline in demand and supply. The cyclical effect caused massive unemployment and decline of real incomes of ordinary people as well as governments across the world. So when the factories are closed, their unemployment edges, and there is a decline of real incomes of ordinary people very badly come down, and governments also became debt. It initially began with a stock market collapse in the US before the long affected almost every country. So when the United States stock market was collapsed, so automatically the other countries' economic situation also fall down. So it is lead to Great Depression. Here, as many as 25% Americans were unemployed, and nearly 33% in many other countries. So many people are unemployed because of closure of factories, and the trade declined. Cities became centers of decline. Trade also declined automatically when there is no production, there is no trade and commerce in the country. This in turn caused a collapse of prices up to 60% for agricultural produce, causing pauperization of millions of farmers, stopping of cultivation. So pauperization means the poorness. The farmers became very poor, and they also fall in debt traps, and they are not able to cultivate, and millions of farmers and they stopped cultivation. This was the longest and most severe economic decline faced by modern economy till today. So till today means up to now, here also some countries are affected by this Great Depression. They are unable to recover from this situation. So like this it is happened. Here, one well-educated economist, Keynes, he argued that during time of economic decline, when demand decreases, the trade should be funds and generate employment, which will help in people to earn money and demand goods in the prices. Means here the Keynes, a well economist, educated economist who will analyze the economic situation of the countries, he argued that the main reason for the decline, the main reason for this uh, depression is decline in the demand of the goods and services, and a decline of prices of the commodities. So for solve this problem, the government should generate employment, should invest funds in the industries. By that, the people will get again employment, the production will increase automatically, the economic situation of the country will increase. This is the opinion of Keynes, a great economic philosopher. Next, after this, Roosevelt, who became the president of US, announced the New Deal, which promised relief to the victims of depression. Victims of depression means who affected the countries by this depression. Roosevelt, he formulated some reforms. So reform of financial institutions and steps to ensure economic recovery. So financial institutions means banks. He reformed by some rules and regulations, and he taken some steps to improve the situation of the institutions by that required, and undertaking many public works. Public works means which will help to the people. All public works he undertaken. However, the real break came from the outbreak of war when state expenditure on famines and armaments suddenly increased, giving a big boost to factory production and demand for farm produce. So, because it is a time of war, there is a demand for war materials. So, the war material making industries all increased. So, there is a recovery of economy in the country. He also introduced the much needed social security, so unemployment insurance and welfare benefits for the handicapped and needy children in the families without father present. So he taken some public works like universal retirement pensions, given pensions to the people who are retired permanent, and some insurance, unemployment insurance, and welfare benefits of the handicapped persons. So who are handicapped, for them he given some funds for the benefit of the family, and he established the framework for the US welfare system. ఈ విధంగా like this he established one welfare state in the country. In fact, Great Britain had taken the lead in this direction even before the depression when the war was on. So Great Britain also taking the same measures how the Roosevelt is taking, like that he is taking all the measures for the benefit of the people. These basically consisted of unemployment insurance. So who are not having jobs, so they may take insurance policy on unemployment and old age pension schemes. So the old people getting pensions. At the close of the Second World War, Britain too adopted extensive social security measures like unemployment doles, sickness coverage, health schemes, child care, etc. So to make the country welfare state, he provided all these facilities for the people, brought some changes to take caring of children, and sickness recovery means anybody having sickness, so hospitalization and other expenses paid by the government. All this went on to make the idea of welfare state, which the state ensured a certain basic minimum dignified life for all citizens and took care of their most elementary needs like food, housing, and health. So like this, he made the country as a welfare state, and all the people should have minimum food, housing, and health facilities, and old age care and education also provided. To a large extent, the state also took the responsibility of providing employment to the able-bodied citizens. So he provided employment facilities, and he brought some reforms. By this, he recovered from depression and made the country economically developed.